started recording it. So hopefully you can see this. I'm going to kind of click in and out of this PowerPoint to show you a couple of things, but I just wanted to share our focuses for SEND in 2020 to 2021. And those are going to be around Edukey, interventions, reviewing our SEN register, and working a bit more together across year groups in terms of interventions. What I'm planning to do is meet with year groups following PIRA and PUMA tests to look at the SEN register and interventions that we need to put in place. But as always, our door is always open. So if you've got any concerns about children, then please come and let us know, or pop it on CPOMs and tag SEN, because we always look at that. You might have noticed that the Rocket Room and Rainbow Room looks slightly different this year, just as a reflection of the high level needs of some children that we've got coming in and the amount of EHCPs that seem to be coming through. The Rocket Room, which is the room off the hall, we've turned into a more kind of sensory room for children to work in. So it's set up a little bit like an early years space. The Rainbow Room, which is the one by the office, is still a group intervention space, and all of the interventions, kind of the off-the-shelf interventions, are stored in there. We'll have a booking system for that, just to make sure that we're cleaning between year groups using them. So we'll put that out later in the year. In the year, as in like in a week or two, not obviously in May. So first of all, Edukey. Edukey, I would like everyone to love as much as I love Edukey. So I'm hoping that this year we can do some work on this and realise its potential, because I think it could be really useful. By the end of September, what I'd like is for every child on the SEN register to have a learning plan, which looks like this. So we look at what children can do, what children are finding tricky, and come up with a target that's linked to their area of need. So it shouldn't be anything additional to what we're either putting in place from interventions or in the classroom, but so there's something really clear that that's what children are working on. All provisions are going to be recorded on Edukey. So that's any interventions that any children do need to be on Edukey by the end of September. So we've got an overview of what children are having. All documents from agencies, as before, will be saved onto Edukey. So where you'll access reports, EHCPs, targets that have come from different agencies, that will be on Edukey. There won't be a paper file anymore. If parents give you any documents, please either upload them, or if you don't have time to upload them, that's absolutely fine. Just bring them to the office and we'll do that for you. But if we don't have bits of paper, sometimes it means that we get into a bit of a sticky situation when we're trying to get professionals to support children, or applying for EHCPs and bits and pieces. Edukey will also hold EHCP plans, PEEPs, so personal evacuation plans, behaviour plans, and the chronology of agencies that have been involved with them. So if you need any information about a child in your class in terms of the SEN support they've had, Edukey is where you would go to get that. Interventions, to try and help with workload and to make sure that we're consistent across the year, what we have done is we've put together an intervention menu, if you like. So we've got different interventions that can be accessed by different year groups. We've resourced these and will plan these, so it's not something extra that you need to do. And we've used kind of common themes that have come up in provision mapping. So for example, we've done a year 1 and 2 writing intervention that focuses on sentence structure, sentence punctuation, and developing a little bit of vocabulary, because that's something that comes up time and time again, but people are doing it in lots of different ways. So we felt if we did something just in a very consistent way, then that would be easier for everybody. We really need to make sure that we keep registers for interventions, not only because where we might do a year 1 intervention, we'll have children from both classes possibly and need to know when they've been together and when they haven't been together, but also for when reviewing interventions, it can look like children haven't made progress, but actually they've just not been to any sessions. So that's a really helpful thing to know about. We'll do a pro forma for that and send it out. So all of that will be done for you, just something to use. We're also going to review the register. We'll do this for week beginning the 14th of September. And I've done a document to help do this and also record quality first teaching, which I'm going to show you now. And hopefully this will work. So can everyone see the Excel document that's on the screen? Brilliant. So this is the year 3 one. And you can see these are all the children that are on the SEN register at the moment and their area of need. So what I will be asking you to do, and I will do this with you the first time, so please don't worry about it. I just didn't want to not show anybody. Is from this drop down register, we'd look at Ajoa. Do we want to keep her on the SEN register? You press the arrow and you go yes or no. Have you got any quality first teaching in place? Yes or no. You press the arrow, yes or no. Are there any interventions in place in the classroom? Yes or no. And are the inclusion team doing any interventions? Then any concerns you've got about progress or support you could write in this box. It will automatically tell you how many SEN children you've got in your year group, if that's of interest to you. And this bit at the bottom is if there's anybody that you want to put onto the SEN register, so anybody you're concerned about. So you just type their name in. Groups is if they're pupil premium, if they're a looked after child, if they're a young carer. Area of need you don't have to put in, but if you think you know, you can choose the drop down menu and say which area of need they are. Your concerns, you just write in the box what you're concerned about. Anything you're doing at the moment, which at the start of the year might not be anything, and that's absolutely fine. Whether their parents are aware that you've got a concern. So again, I think that's just a yes or a no. Any other information that might be helpful. And then there's a RAG rating, so just red, amber, green, of their behaviour, attendance, reading, writing and maths. And you just press red, amber or green and it will turn red, amber or green. So we've got descriptors of these children. Just for the children that are on the SEN register, at the bottom there are some little buttons. So for the different areas of needs, so there's descriptors and a quality first checklist. So if you click on the descriptors, you can see for Ajoa, I started checking it was working. So you'd read the descriptor and decide whether yes, she can do something, and it will change to yes or red for no, she can't do something. And just go down there really quickly. It shouldn't take very long, just so we've got a record of what children can do and what they can't do for their different areas of need. If you press the home button, it will then take you to the home page and you can go and do the different descriptors. There's also a quality first teaching checklist. So if you just click the button of that, the names come up at the top again. You don't need to click all of these off, but it's just kind of going, actually, do I do any of these for Ajoa? Yes, I give her rest breaks. So I'm going to press yes for that one. I've tried extra time. That doesn't work. So I'm going to press a no for that one, just so we've got a little bit of a record of that. It's got specific learning needs like dyscalculia, dyspraxia. For the SEMH one, I think it's got things for ADHD. Obviously, if a child doesn't have ADHD, don't fill that bit in, just do the one that you need to. And if there's any additional techniques, you can put those ones in the bottom. So I'll send those out the week beginning the 17th, I think I put it as. But I can help you do these, so please don't worry if you need some help doing this, that's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to come out of that one and go back into this one. As I think I said at the start, after we've done that register review, I'd really like to have to meet with your year group team, and from there we'll look at the children that we want to put onto the SEN register. We'll have those discussions, and we'll also plan provision for them. So we won't have any interventions, if you like, starting until we've had that meeting. So please don't worry about putting interventions straight in when the children come back. Give them a couple of weeks to settle, see where they are. Then we'll have a meeting together and we'll talk about what we need for those children and what we can put in place for them. Which was this slide. I'm ahead of myself. So I hope that that makes sense. Has anybody got any questions? Because I think I've talked really, really quickly about a lot of things, which I do a lot of the time. I can't see anything, so I take that as no. But as always, if you need anything, please come and talk to us, because we're more than happy to. I've missed something really important. Sorry, everybody. We last year, there's another slide and I forgot about it. I will be more together tomorrow. So last year we had a classroom monitor that we used for assessments, and we obviously don't have classroom monitor anymore, so we still need a way of tracking children that are red, if you like, and send children and knowing where they are. Classroom Monitor used a version of the Birmingham Send toolkit. So we are going to use the Birmingham Send toolkit and have bought into that programme. This still works on bands as it did before. So if I show you this one, oh, sorry, 2 seconds. This one. So you have bands as you did before, right from band 1 all the way up to band 16, which is the end of year 6. So it's just broken down as it did before, the learning objectives. So band 1 for number and place value, I can give 1 item to 1 person when giving out fruits and drinks. I can play in the shop and pay for things. What we'll do is we will have a paper file in your classrooms, which will have these printed off for the children that we need to record this on, and we'll just ask you to highlight each term where you think they are, what they can do, starting from band 1. So if they can do that, you highlight all of band 1 up to where they're working on, and that will be their next steps. We'll then collate these as our data, if you like, for SEND children. These come with, which I think is really nice, little bits to help you. So one of the reading ones is I can read up to 20 uncommon or familiar words by sight. There's loads of ideas of how to do those in the classroom. So within that folder, there'll be all of these bits. So if you're struggling of how to teach that to these children, this should help you think of how you can do that. Within that file as well, what we'll ask for is your intervention registers, as well as those assessment toolkits, which you'll have highlighted off for the SEND children in your classrooms. And we'll just be highlighting them for reading, writing and maths, where those children need that. I hope that makes sense, and I'm really sorry. There isn't a different band of documents for early years, Sophie, because they start at, I think, P3 or P4, so they'd just be working on the band 1 ones, if that makes sense. And the intervention meetings, I don't think they will occur before parent meetings because of the dates, but we can look at that, Eileen, because it would be helpful if teachers know, if parents know, but if not, it could always be just a chat when they pick up of actually we're going to start this intervention, because I think it's really important they know what their children are doing. Are there any other questions that anyone would like to ask? No? I'm really sorry I forgot the last slide. There definitely are no more slides because it says end of slideshow. And I will just pop out an email trying to possibly put more concisely what I've just said. But if anyone's got any questions, then please let me know and I will do my best to help. Thank you very much, everybody.